What's up everyone, I'm Skilla, welcome back in my channel. Some days ago I made a community post and I asked you what video would you prefer to see next, and you made your choice. Today I'm gonna give you the top 5 beatbox battle tips. Just practice. Yes, we all know this, but I'm not gonna let you go so easy. In this video I'll show you some of my little secrets, so stick around if you really want to improve your beatbox battle performance.
Number 1.
If you want to win a beatbox battle, you definitely need to put the preparation before anything else. The preparation is your umbrella in the rain. That's the process where you will understand your strengths and your weaknesses. That's the process of creating new routines. Exploring your opponents is another very important part of the preparation process. I explained in the previous video that you must know what to do and what not to do versus the different beatboxers. I'll be honest with you, I prepared a lot for all my battles. For example, for the World Championship I had more than 15 different rounds. Similar beats but different combinations, variations and structures. I had different rounds for Rips 1, for Alem, for Korean effects, for Vakhtang, for Beasty and all the other possible opponents. For GBB I did the same. It would be great if you can trick your opponent to come in your territory. You don't want to do things that you're not confident with. You want to make them do things that you can do better. To achieve this, you need to understand that in beatbox battles it's not all about beatboxing skills. There is also a psychological aspect and you must win this fight on stage. I agree that you need some experience and a lot of practice to be able to prepare such a strategy. I'm not telling you that you cannot win if you freestyle. Of course you can do, but I'm trying to tell you the truth. By failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
Number 2.
The battle scene has developed so much in the last years, and today it's really important to be complex and completed beatboxer. By complexity, I don't mean that you have to do complex things all the time. I mean that you need to add more components to your performance. You definitely need nice melody, good rhythm, original technical combinations and power. You also need good performance, but we're gonna discuss this later in the video. Try to work with your weaker components. If you're not so good with the melodies, then work with your voice. Or if your rhythm is a mess, work on that and improve your technicality. Never underestimate power. The power is so important component, especially in the beatbox battles, because it's one of the most obvious ways to stand out from your opponents. Be powerful. As a judge, I can guarantee, more stuff you put on the table, more chances to win you will have.
Number 3.
Structure is a crucial element in music. It describes how the different sections and components of your musical idea are positioned together to form the composition. I've seen so many beatboxers winning a battle with worse material but better structure. If you have a good structure, people will easily understand your ideas. If not, they can be distracted, bored or even confused. That's why the structure is so important. It will be impossible to discuss with you all the different types of structures and forms, but some of the main sections in a good beatbox round are intro, build-up, drop and outro. The most important and probably the most difficult task is to link the different parts into a whole fluent composition. To do this, you can imagine that your performance is a story or musical journey. You need to grab the audience attention from the beginning. Do something interesting and minimalistic in the intro. Here you should put the basis where your idea will grow from. In the build-up, you should raise the tension. That's the place where you're preparing the crowd for the culmination. The drop, the culmination or the hook is the most important part. Here you definitely need to reach the peak of your performance. It's a very common mistake when the build-up sounds as powerful as the drop. If you cannot emphasize your peak, sometimes you can make what comes before smaller. In the outro, you should finish the story. It's a cool idea to make a reference with a phrase from the beginning of your round. This will give us a good impression that we are listening a whole composition. You must play with the dynamics, because that's the way to differentiate each part. This will make your performance much more attractive.
Number 4.
If you want to build the perfect structure for a beatbox battle, make sure to leave some space for the counters, or at least plan your routine so you can be flexible to answer the situations on stage. In the last video I explained you what not to do, but today I want to give you some examples what you can do with the counters. I still remember my battle with Beasty at the World Championship. He did one of my beats in his first round. In my answer, I didn't counter immediately. I started building up my round, and when the crowd was ready, then I dropped it. Big respect for my brother Beasty, this was really one of my hardest battles. I wanna give you a more recent example. Probably my favorite battle is 2H vs Alexinho at GBB 2017. 2H showed on stage his unique special sound, the double voice, and then he dropped maybe the best second round ever.
Three, two, one, 3, 2, 1.
Alexinho didn't counter immediately as well. He already did one drop and he was preparing the crowd for the second one, and just before that, he countered.
Come to hypnotize when the vibrate.
Now imagine if Alexinho had countered in the beginning of his answer. Actually, I don't wanna imagine this. Alexinho did probably the best counter ever. Big up to both of them, this was legendary battle. As you see, sometimes your counter can be much stronger if you do it at the right place, after the build-up and before the drop. If you decide to counter in the beginning of your round, make sure that you can do it better than your opponent. I know that you need some experience to be able to counter like a pro, but if you pay attention on these little details, even when you watch videos, then you will improve your beatbox battle performance.
Number 5.
Perform like yourself. That's probably the best tip I can give you. Be honest on stage. Don't try to sound like somebody else. Do things that you really like. Do things that are interesting for you, and don't be afraid to take risks. People will appreciate that. Judges as well. In the end of the day, that's the most important thing for any artist. But we often forget this. It's not that important how many sounds you can do per second or how deep is your pace. It's all about the message you give, the emotion that you share with the crowd. We need that passion. That's the real power. And last but not least, enjoy the things you're doing, because if you don't, there's no way you can make other people enjoy your stuff. That wraps the list with the top 5 beatbox battle tips. Let me know in the comments if you can add to the list some other tips. Let's make a discussion about that. Subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. What are you doing here? Go practice! Or at least watch some of my other videos.